I'm back, and this is video 92 in my ACS vanilla series. And in my last video, which was part 91, I was able to show you guys how to build out a legacy artifact using Shendao disciples and different ways in which you can acquire ancient scrolls and a mod that you can use to descum the ancient scrolls so that you don't have to, refresh your game over and over again. And the mod will allow you to simply pick which buildings you want to unlock for your Shendao. And I also showed you guys what buildings you want to have for your Shendao based on the Shendao guides that I've been consuming, as well as my own personal opinion. And then I also showed you guys what it looks like when I use the Heaven Echo altar to be able to kind of test the difference in power. So the first thing that I want to mention is that in the last video I went and fought myself in the Heaven Echo altar and I lost, and I thought that was mainly because my Nimbus disciple had legacy modifiers on the Shendao, on their Shendao artifacts that they had equipped compared to the 6 marble swords of Tao that I was using. And honestly, I would say that was a part of it, but it was also a problem that with these marble swords of Tao, the total match chi is just completely different. So right here, as you can see, my artifact chi capacity is 122,000, right? And then if I go on Beast Form, I'm pretty sure it's a different number, but if I equip the Shendao artifacts, then their chi capacity are like way lower than these marble swords of Tao. So that was also a really big factor in that fight. So let's see, if I go here and I equip all of these right here, then my chi capacity is what, 38,000. So the chi capacity went from 100,000 to 38,000. So that allows this disciple to have about 3 times more survivability when having these Shendao artifacts equipped. So that's pretty much ties into why I was basically saying that, like, even like on a general case, if you can't get the legacy modifiers, the Shendao artifacts are still for the most part superior to any other artifact that you can choose, except for maybe the Needles of Tribulation. I'm still not convinced about that, and that's why I am going to be doing this test in order to pretty much just see what would be better between the Shendao artifacts and the Needles of Tribulation, which is why I created the Needles of Tribulation. But right now I pretty much went back and I fought myself without the legacy modifiers, and I still won, and it was very easy. So I'm very convinced that the Shendao artifacts are definitely way better than any other Shendao artifact that you can make, regardless of whether or not they have legacy modifiers or not, just because their stats are just amazing and you can curate them to have the stats that you need, which are high chi recovery and a low chi capacity, and you just want that ratio to be really close. So yeah, the next thing that I want to do is move forward by maximizing the power that I can get from the Shendao artifacts. So I did Savescum to the point of which before I had Lady Cloud equip the Shendao artifacts, because I actually want this generation 2 turtle to equip them so that they can attach some massive epiphanies on these Shendao artifacts and then make them also subspirit gear. So they're going to be Shendao artifacts with subspirit gear, and they will also have legacy modifiers. So they will pretty much be like peak power in terms of artifact. But I promise you, I really stand the Needle of Tribulation, so just bear with me. I may end up proving myself wrong on this one, but I don't know. Maybe it's better than the Needle of Tribulation, maybe it's not. Either way, the Needle of Tribulation is still a really good option, because you can get the Needle of Tribulation super early, like 40 days in your gameplay, and you just can't do that with the Shendao artifact. So I still stand by Needles of Tribulation no matter what happens. You will always hold a special part in my heart, dear Needle of Tribulation. So anyways, back to this. Yeah, I just equipped the artifacts on my generation 2 turtle, and now it's time for me to start to do some attachments. So I just want to do stats, and I want to do the level 6 attachment, which is the massive attachment on these. And it seems like I have medium compatibility with these, so I actually may not be able to do it because I only have 11 subspirits and I would need 12, which is pretty sad. So I can definitely do this attachment on 5 of the Shendao artifacts. However, I will need to attach something else or just wait a little bit more before I can do the 6th attachment. So let's see. So this right here also has the attachment, huh? There should be one item that doesn't have the attachment because there's actually 19 items that a cultivator can have equipped. So let me see. Yeah, I think I should still be able to activate it because I have 13 out of 18. However, I will be missing just 500% bonus, so they will be a little bit less powerful by like 500% and whatever that multiplier adds up to be. So anyways, I just want to move forward with beginning to craft this attachment. So I'll do artifacts related on this, and then I'll just do stats, and then I'll do massive. And obviously this guy just equipped these items, so they have really horrible compatibility with these, and I believe it will take a couple of days just to even be able to have high compatibility. So I'm just gonna start that process. Oh, these seem to be crafting fairly quickly, and then in the meantime I'll be unlocking these Needles of Tribulations. So Needles of Tribulation is a legacy artifact, so once you meet the incubation requirements for a legacy artifact, which for the Needle of Tribulation was for me to refine these 11 times, basically just get them to tier 12, which is something that you would do anyways. You just have your disciple equip the Needle of Tribulation, and then after that they will be able to activate it. So let's see what's going on with this and why can't I equip it. Lady Cloud, Lady Cloud has a full inventory, so I actually need to move our equips over here and then equip the Needles of Tribulations. You can only do one at a time, so I really just need to drop the Spirit Seed, honestly. So let me just go to the Needles of Tribulation, and actually let's equip this right here just so that I can have the one equipped. And then I do want to create a Savescum because I do like for my Needles of Tribulations to have about like around 120 battle power on average. So I will actually move these Needles of Tribulations over and then create a Savescum for before I start to do the RNG, when I'm basically just re-rolling that. So in order to just pretty much just make this easier on myself, I'll just move forward and create a chi cushion so that my disciple just naturally goes to this cushion and assign it to them, and then also pick up these Needles of Tribulations and, you know, just leave them on the ground at first and ban them just so that everything is just like in order. So let me just wait for that to happen. Okay, so the chi cushion has been created and I need to assign this to my disciple. So Lady Cloud should naturally be going to this chi cushion since I just assigned it to them. And yeah, so that is the setup. So I'm going to move forward and then have the rest of these Needles of Tribulations moved over, but I need to take a quick break, so I will do a small time skip. Alright, I'm back, and now it's time for me to move these Needles of Tribulations over. So let's just do this. I'm going to find all of my Needles of Tribulations because it's just really annoying to, you know, have to go all the way over the map, especially if you are Savescumming them. And I do want to kind of simulate the highest power that I would be expecting to have with everything. So I will be Savescumming the Needles of Tribulation to get the more favorable results, because that's just what I would do naturally if I was working with Needles of Tribulation and trying to do it like seriously. And when it comes to legacy artifacts, you can only equip one at a time, so I guess the solution would be for me to use different disciples to collect them. So I'll try that. And then this one has an injury. I do not know why my inner disciples get so many random annoying injuries. It's like, can you just become better? Please stop being hurt. So we have 3 needles of tribulations on the ground, and we just need to put 3 more. So that's farmer 2, now farmer 1. And then there's one more needle. Let's see, where is it at? I'll just keep this one equipped since I don't need to start the Savescumming process now. And then besides that, this guy is also almost done artifact crafting. The first sub-spirit gear. So as you can see right here, if you have a legacy artifact, you have to equip it and then you have to right click it to activate it, like you would in the same way that you would like a soul pro that was equipped in your inventory. You basically just have to use it, and then once you do that, it's going to do like a re-rolling, or it's going to randomize their stats based on the range, and I can pull that up for you guys to see. So if we go into the wiki page for artifact crafting, right, and then we scroll down, there's this table, but it's kind of weird, so you just have to be sure to move all the way to the right and then go to expand. And then I believe that the legacy artifacts are on here, so if you search needle, or let's see, tribulation. So here we go, this is needles of tribulation, and then you can see that the attack power goes from 104 to 126. I like to save scum until the needle of tribulation has about, or I like to save some until all 6 of my needles of tribulation have about like an average of 120. That's really where I like to be at, and it's really not that hard, even though it can be a little bit annoying. And then besides that, the needle of tribulation's damage is not actually 104 to 126. It's actually based on your lifespan compared to your age. So these of tribulation can get a 3.5 times normal boost. So if you take that 126 and you multiply that by 3.5, then you get a way bigger number. So let me just pull out my calculator, handy dandy. So you can get about like 440 artifact power out of a needle of tribulation, just from having like the maximum like age and lifespan. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to see, is like, is 232 artifact power on top of, with subspirits and legacy modifiers, stronger than 440? I feel like that's kind of a silly question, honestly, but you know what, shout out to needle of tribulations. So I'll just name this 610, even though it's not day 610. And then when I save scum my needles, I just do needle and then I do underscore whatever one I'm working on. So right now I know I'm working on number 1, and then I'll just do 6 more save scums and so on and so forth. And I'll show you guys what that looks like for the first needle, assuming that I don't get a perfect match on the first time, and then I'll just do a time skip for the other ones, because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me just save scum needles of tribulations. Okay, let's see. I almost messed up my save files, so let me just make sure that everything is good over there. Yeah, everything is good. I just moved my folder over instead by mistake. Okay, anyways, we're back in the game, and we have Lady Cloud, and they have a needle of tribulation. Needle of tribulation is actually pretty weird because it also like hurts the cultivator when they use it. So it says when you're using this artifact, the closer you are to the end of your lifespan, the more powerful it becomes. So we claim this sacred artifact, and then it becomes a needle of tribulation. And as you can see, we got 112 artifact power, and it's a quality 100 artifact, which are how pretty much all legacy artifacts are, and that's pretty bad. So once the artifact is created, the cultivator will claim it, and then they should have the option to recall their legacy artifacts now. So if I was to remove this artifact right here, then I should have an option to bring it back to me. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Typically, cultivators do have the ability to bring them back. Let me see. Maybe this guy just has like too many modifiers. Or maybe it just works differently. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. Let's try this with this guy, actually. Or maybe I'm just thinking about the sacred artifacts, and I'm remembering things wrong, and just correlating it in a different way. So yeah, when they claim the Needle of Tribulation, they get hurt, and I'm Savescumming, which is why I claimed it on the Tiger. So this is 113, which is also pretty bad as well. Let's see. Yeah, they also can't recall it, so I guess it's really only Shendao disciples that can recall their artifact. That's a pretty overpowered feature, because if you're in a fight and you get knocked out, then your artifact just gets placed on the ground, and you just have no other option, because it's just really hard to get out of battle and then pick up your artifact again. But if you're a Shendao disciple and you just get knocked out, you can just get back up and just go straight to fighting and just get your artifact back, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to move forward and then Savescum this first needle again. And again, we're aiming for an average of 120. So if this is like close to 120, it's okay. What's this? 97. That is horrible. This is why we save scum. And I might actually be on like a bad seed where I'm just doomed to just a bad roll. But I'm just going to keep going so you guys can see the process. The process is very, very important. And we need to scrape up as much artifact power as we can if we are going to even dream of defeating ourselves with legacy artifacts that are also boosted. Let's see. Lady Cloud. What is this at? 95 again. So once I start to get like once I start to consistently get bad rolls for RNG, I start to think about how the game uses RNG seeds, which kind of predetermine the range of things in the game, if that makes sense. So you pretty much just have to do like a lot of different things in order to change your RNG seed. So that's what I start to do basically. So like one quick thing that you can do to change your RNGC is to like craft an artifact, have your cultivator move from one spot to another, let the game load a little bit more, wait a day, and then that can change the way that your outcomes are being influenced when you're Savescumming. So let's try to change my RNG seed, because the current one that I have right now is obviously just giving me bad legacy artifacts, or that's just how I'm perceiving them, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to let my game run a little bit more for a good measure, and then have my disciple, you know, just move around, do some cool things, like maybe pick up something, I don't know, like maybe I'll drop this artifact and pick it up again. Now let's equip it, and then this guy right here can now craft another legacy artifact. So let's do yet another attachment. Or I mean, they can add another subspirit, not craft another legacy artifact. We want to go to artifacts related, stats, and we want to add the massive epiphany. Oh, this guy doesn't even have enough artifact battle power to do that, so I would actually have to learn some artifact power manuals for this guy as well. They do not have enough artifact power to give. Ugh. That's crazy. So let's see. This is base artifact power. I really just want the percentages. I'm not really worried about this guy getting artifact match cheat either, so I guess that's okay. And they have 596 million inspirations, so they should be able to learn all of these manuals, unless they run into them having too many unorthodox manuals. 42% is not really going to help me out. So let's just try to get these base ones as well and hope that they also count towards what I need. So let's see, how much artifact power do we have to give? So their artifact power bonus is 2,900. I don't know what their like artifact power modifier is. That might just be their base power. So hopefully this is just enough. It's definitely a like very small amount. And then maybe if I equip the sharp sword talisman, would that like kind of help out? I don't know. Like I don't know if the game won't be able to like recognize that the sharp sword talisman's artifact power is not actually the cultivators, and maybe it'll just allow me to give that away as well. So yeah, a lot of different things are happening. So the RNGC is definitely changing like drastically. So if I can craft this attachment, let's see, artifacts related. Okay, so we can do at least another one. So let's do that. And I actually just did like a lot of different things. So I'm just going to save my game for good measure and then come back into my game and then try this again. But yeah, my disciple might even run out of artifact power to give. Alright, so we're back in here. I will actually just let my game run a little bit more. And now I will try with this new RNGC. And there you have it. We're at 119 artifact power. So we're away from the from the cursed seed. So I'm just going to equip this Needle of Tribulation and then make yet another Savescum. Luckily I got that on the first try too, because I just did all of that and I would have hated to have to do that again. And I actually did make another Savescum just in case. So I'm going to copy this one over, and then I guess I'll just do the second one and then I'll do a time skip, because I am now curious as to how much artifact power I will need and how much I'll be able to get on that guy to be able to give it away. So now I create a save called needle_2 because I'm working on the second needle. Now it's time to roll the dice. And we're at 99 power. Okay. I think you guys have seen enough. I'm just going to go back and do this process over and over again until I pretty much get what I want. So yeah, I am being very Savescumming with these, and I don't really think it's really necessary, but I do want to try to do this comparison by using the best Needles of Tribulation that I can. So yeah, I'm going to start a time skip. Alright, so I'm back, and I'm actually not fully back, but I did just want to give you guys an update just in case things looked weird in my time skip. So I actually did go forward and successfully Savescum all of the Needles of Tribulation. So right now I have my Needles of Tribulation at 119 damage, 121 power, 121 power, 126 power, which is the max one. That actually pretty much really surprised me. And then this one is at 116. I was able to just accept this as like whatever, because all of these other artifacts had some pretty good stats. So then after I created my Needles of Tribulation, I figured that it would be better for me to then continue to craft the subspheres on top of the artifacts. However, I did eventually run into the dilemma of having my disciple basically not having any artifact power to be able to give to the artifacts. So right now I'm currently in the process of farming all of these different law manuals, and I started off by pretty much going through trading with every sect, and I did look for any sect that had a manual that was based on artifact crafting, or not artifact crafting, artifact mastery, so that I can hopefully get some more manuals that will add artifact power. So as you can see, if you just hover your mouse over these law manuals in the law section, you do need connection to be able to buy them, but you can also see like what type of law they are. So this one says this is an earth-based law and is based on protect, and then this one right here says an earth-based law that's based on spell, and then this right here is a water-based law based on protect. So I really just been reading through these things and just looking for anything that says artifact mastery. So besides that, I was able to pretty much figure out, or pretty much buy all of the artifact mastery laws from the sects that I had connection with, and now I'm pretty much in the process of going into sects that I have conquered and just picking up books from there. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, and I was actually luckily able to find like 4 laws just now that have artifact mastery from Skydome Palace. So I can go over, I've been using Subspirit Turtle 2 in order to gather everything. So I did get, I know that one of them was called Skydome. No, my outer disciples are moving them over, so let me just wait for a little bit. Maybe it's called like Grand or something like that. Let's see, let's try this again. Maybe it's called Heaven Step. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was called Skydome. I'm about 99% sure that was called something Skydome. I wonder if it's just not there because I read the manual. So let me just move forward and go to my transcribe manual just so I can show you guys. Oh, so yeah, one of them was called Skydome. So I don't know why this one didn't show up. It's called Skydome Flying Meta Spiritual Records. So this is one that has a wood law based on artifact mastery, and then this right here is a law based on artifact mastery. I don't see its element right now. It's a metal law, okay, and then this one right here is a law based on artifact mastery, and it's a non-elemental law, and the essence of an infinite means none. So I'm also looking through these different laws to see like what if they have like increasing artifact power, because I still need to craft, I believe, 3 more subspirits, so I will need 1800% artifact power. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get that from these manuals, and this one doesn't even have artifact power, but whatever, I'm just going to transcribe it anyways, just because I have enough disciples to do so. And then, you know, I'm pretty much just continuing to go through this, so I'll kind of show you guys what that looks like once I transcribe all of these laws that I've collected over the hour that I've been playing. So yeah, a slight intermission, but honestly this is not even like the end of the world though, because I do have my generation 1 Subspirit Turtle, which I was able to get to be able to survive 1 billion tribulations. So worst case scenario, I could just move and create a new Subspirit set with this guy and like save some back, and then I would just have to accumulate, if I'm using 2 subspirits per item, then I would have to be able to accumulate, let's see, if I'm making 18 items, so I would pretty much just need to get like in total 36 subspirits, I guess, or maybe I'm thinking about that wrong. I know that I can spend like 19 or 12 subspirits on just making the regular set, or just wait. Basically, I don't know, my brain just fried at that second, so I can't even think about the math that I need to do. But this guy has at least 18 subspirits that I can obtain and attach and create a new subspirit gear if I need to, for the purposes of testing that. Right now I don't feel like I need to do all that extra work to test that. So I'm just gonna move forward with just collecting these laws and seeing if I can get something good. So just to kind of show you guys what the process is, I'm going to go into Mount Kunlun because I have this sect dominated. So that means I can just walk into their sect and just pick up anything that I want. And then I'm hoping that they have law manuals, assuming that I didn't steal their law manuals already. And then I'm hoping that these law manuals are based on artifact mastery. So we're just gonna let the game run for a little bit to reveal the map, and then look around and look for their treasury. So they have all of the manuals that are typically in a sect. So let me just see what these are about. This one right here is artifact mastery and is water based. This is a meta law based on spells, so I don't want that one. This one right here is a law based on fire and is protect. This is artifact mastery and this is a meta law, so I definitely want that. This is based on protect, and then this is based on fire and is artifact mastery. So I just want these three right here. So I mean, I just got a good haul from Mount Kunlun as well. So I think that this will hopefully go well. Fingers crossed that these manuals actually have manuals that increase artifact power. And then because I'm using a demigod, the manuals that I collect actually drop down like right where my demigod is, so it can be really annoying. So I like to take a note of these names, or like just try to freeze my game really quick. So I have Kunlun, Jade Void, and Primordial Fine Chapter. So I'm just gonna go back into my map and then quickly freeze my game, because as soon as they get back, it's like they didn't even travel, so they just pop up and the items just drop under them, which can be really annoying. So I'm hitting the pause button as soon as possible, and then I'm going to the disciple that I had, collect the items, and I remember that they popped up around here last time. So this is the one. Oh, I don't need to equip them, I just need to read them. Jade Void, Primordial Fine Chapter, and Kunlun Fegda Spiritual Manual. So then now that I have these three manuals, I just kind of look through them. So this one increases protect, artifact durability, overall nothing like too great, artifact attack speed, artifact resistance, and then just in case I like miss something, so this increases artifact power but it's core shaping, so I'm not really too happy about that because it just doesn't look like it's promising, because it is a core shaping manual. So now that I've read all of those manuals, and I don't know why I didn't get the pop-up for those, but they all should be here. I'm going to transcribe them just in case I did miss anything while skimming through the manual just to look for something. Yeah, it was Kunlun, Jade, and then something else. Interesting. So there was actually one more manual that I was unable to get. So yeah, I just had to go through that annoying process of trying to figure out like where the manual went. So I think it would be more smart for me to actually move my guy that's collecting everything to this cushion, just because it's like less out of the way, or there's less clutter around here. And yeah, so let's just move this guy over, and then let's see if I can find that other manual, because there was 3 and I only had the option to transcribe 2, so I either already had that law unlocked or I just missed it in some weird way. And then this timer is just not working right now. It was called Kunlun. Yeah, not even the search is working for me. Jade Void Spirit. No, that's not what I'm looking for at all. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to do this, and I just wanted to update you guys on what I was doing and show you the process for that, and then I'll come back in a time skip once I've pretty much stolen all of the manuals, and I'll try to increase my cultivator's artifact power more and then eventually create the sub. Alright, I'm back, and after about 30 minutes of farming these different law manuals, or maybe an hour, it has been successfully transcribed all these law manuals, and I've collected a ton of artifact power manuals. So now I can learn some more artifact power bonus on my generation 2 turtle, so let's just see what that looks like. But firstly, because these are unorthodox manuals, let me actually check their orthodox attainment, just so that I know that I'm like good enough. So it looks like they have 184 unorthodox attainment, and they can fit 217 unorthodox attainment. So I think I do need to be a little bit more careful about the manuals that I'm getting. And my goal is to, let's see, how many do I need to subspirit? I still need to subspirit 3 of these, and I'm doing a 600% bonus, so my goal is to get about 1800% bonus in order to finish out the subspirit set. So I just want to start off by searching artifact power, and as you can see, I now have a ton of more artifact power bonus manuals which I can learn on my disciple, and I have about like 30 attainment to do so. So now let me just go by here and then pretty much just look for something that's like more cost effective. And I think it actually may make more sense for me to have this open at the same time while I do this, just so that I don't have to try to like manually remember exactly what my requirements are. So F5 is the study button. Let me press F5 and then open generation 2 turtle. So I have 184. That means I can get 16 plus 17, which is I think 33. Yeah, 33 more attainment. So I just need to be careful and make sure that I get the amount of bonuses that I need with just 33 attainment. So like even right here, this might be a little bit risky to get. So I'll just start low, and then let's see. If I got 10 of these, then I would get 30 attainment, and I would only have 900%. So I definitely do not want that. So I don't want a 1-to-3 ratio. But this right here, if I got 10 of these, then I would get 30 attainment for 1350. If I had 3 of these, then I would have 1500 attainment for 33. So this might be closer to the best ratio that I can get. So it looks like I may actually need to get some more unorthodox ones. If I had 3 of these, then I would have 1200 for 27 attainment. So that wouldn't even work. That ratio is not that good. Because it's like a 9-to-4 ratio. I think the 11-to-5 ratio makes sense. So like a little bit under like double. Whereas like this is like a little bit too over double. In terms of like 4 times 2 is 8, and then you have 1 left over, so that's like 9. But for this one, it's just like barely 1 left over, but the ratio is just better. So let's see. I think I should just start off with something bigger. Yeah, so I at least want something that looks like a 1-to-2 ratio at the very least. So this one right here actually looks the closest to a 1-to-2 ratio, since that's 3 for 200%. So if you multiply this 1.35 by 2, then you get like 2.70. So I don't know, that's just how I'm trying to rationalize the cost effectiveness of these things. 94 for 4, that's not worth it at all. This isn't worth it. This might be a little bit worth it. Definitely not worth it. This one might be worth it. So I think I just want to go for the 500% ones, I guess. And I need in total 1800% if I want to add 600% 3 times. But I actually do have some extra left over, and I don't know how much I have left over, so I'm just going in blind. So yeah, this is 33, so this is 500, this is 546 for 11, and then this would make it I think I would just shoot for a 33 attainment actually. So this is 500, 900, and then this right here will make it about 1300. And then this one of these, if I can get them later on, will make me like closer to having like 700. So I doubt that it'll learn 4 of these, but we'll see what happens. See, now I feel stupid for learning these manuals because they give like nothing. It's like a 1-to-3 ratio. Who is this guy? I don't know, and I do not care. So we're in a manual pavilion, and I believe that they only learned 2 of those manuals. Oh, they learned 3, so they got 500, 500, and then 483. And I have 217 unorthodox attainment. So in order for me to be able to get more unorthodox attainment, I need to also increase their orthodox attainment, because as you can see, I just can't get them. So I'm just gonna open up this full page and just take pretty much whatever I can get, honestly. And these things are costing like 14 million inspiration, I believe. I hope that's not 144 million. Yeah, that's 14 million. So I believe that it would also make some sense for me to use a Heaven Shrouding Talisman with this disciple, just because my attainment is just so high that just everything counts. So I equip that with Generation 2 Turtle, even though this one does have infinite inspiration. So at this point, I don't even care what manual I'm learning. I'm just looking to increase my orthodox attainment so that I can get more unorthodox manuals. So I'm just gonna go for like the most attainment possible, basically. And I don't know what any of that is. So I guess I'll just start off big just because I have so much inspiration. So now this is only costing 13366. Yeah, so 13 million inspiration. And this gives a subspirit, spirit splitting, soul spirit splitting, sword ultima, artifact mastery bonus. I don't want that. Definitely do not want to reduce my artifact mastery. I guess Life Force Genesis is something that's relatable. They wouldn't need any of these. Wait, I have spirit splitting twice. Interesting. So it looks like I got a water element spirit splitting. I wonder what would happen if I learned that. That's so weird. So I must have gotten this from a different manual, so it's just like 2 different manuals, even though they are the same. The same with Dark Force Genesis, Dark Soul Genesis. I have this twice as well. Life Force Genesis. Oh no, these are 2 different ones. They are not the same manual. They don't have a 8 attainment cost in Soul Inquiry. Interesting. I guess it makes sense to increase lifespan, if anything. Artifact Chi Recovery. This is the manual from the Wudang Duck. Artifact Flying Speed, Artifact Turning Speed. Yeah, none of these seem like super useful. So I'll just learn these 6 just to see what things will look like. Just because I'm very curious on what getting those 2 spirit splitting manuals looks like. Spirit splitting, I have that. Soul Inquiry. Oh, it looks like the other one just didn't learn. So we're at 911 and we can fit 10 more unorthodox attainment. So let me just keep going and learning some more orthodox manuals. All this in the pursuit of testing. So I would go to only Supreme manuals because these are the orthodox ones, and then just see what else is there. Don't want that. Soul Snatcher, I don't really want that either. Greater Posession, you can never go wrong with that one. And this one increases movement speed, I'll take that. And I don't even know why I'm being so picky with this. Spell of Truth, I definitely do not want that one. This one increases mental state, why not? Reverse Control, this is interesting. Your opponent's state intelligence, okay, yeah. That's not better than Incantation of Consonance. Yeah, I should get that on this guy if I don't have it already. Incantation. Let's see, they probably already have that incantation of consonants. Yeah, it would only make sense for me to have that on this disciple. And then I don't know, I think that will give me enough attainment in order to have a nice bonus of around 1800. So now let's study some more artifact power so I can subspirit more artifact power. So this one will give me 500, which I believe will bring me to the threshold of what I need. So I guess I'll just learn this and then see if I can sneak in this one, even though I shouldn't have enough to get both of them. So let me just double check. This guy has enough for 13 attainment, Unorthodox. So let's see if he gets those two. So this one just brought them to 229, and yeah, they stopped. So I was unable to sneak this in. So let's see, what do I have? I have 500, 1500, and then this is like 1900. So I think that I now have enough artifact power bonus to continuously craft the remaining 3 subspirits on these Dragon Feces artifacts for my Shendao artifact cultivators. So now I'm going to go to stats, and okay, this says insufficient character stats. Now interesting, so maybe I'm just thinking about something else then. If I can't attach these, then that's interesting. Maybe it's trying to transfer over like some sort of base artifact power. Let's see, what's their artifact power bonus? So we're at 12,000%. And let's see what will happen if I remove these artifacts, just as like good measure. That is super weird, honestly. And then let's remove this subspirit talisman as well. And then after that, let's see if I can get some base artifact power. Nope, I can't get any more of that. So I wonder what stats they're referencing. Huh. Attachments. Artifacts related. But it says that I can do this tiny attachment, which just adds artifact power, but I think like 100% or something. I think it's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and then 600. So how do I have 100% and then I just added all of this other artifact power, but I can't add more? Yeah, I don't know. So I think I will actually have to move forward and then do the other method, in which I use my first subspirit turtle and then I increase their, and then I get subspirits on them that way. So this is going to just be a multiple part video with multiple cuts, so I'm just going to have to fast forward from here to that point. So I'm going to go off screen and then I'm going to work on this later and then add subspirits on this guy, and I'm going to roll back and then create a whole new subspirit set so that I can show you guys this, the things that I will do for the cause. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, and thank you for watching, and here is the time skip. Alright guys, I'm back and I did a little time skip, and I actually was able to figure out why my generation 2 turtle was still unable to subspirit the artifact power bonus on these artifacts, even though I was able to add a lot of artifact power through these unorthodox manuals. So basically, let me first pull up the wiki page for the epiphanies. So if I pull up, let's see, so when I pull up this wiki page for the epiphanies, right, if you go down into this page and I'm about like a little bit down, where you can see that this is the subspirit modifier that I'm trying to add, and I'm trying to add the massive artifacts related epiphany, which adds 600% artifact power bonus, right? But the thing about this epiphany is it's looking to add AddP, which is an additional power bonus, but this additional power bonus is actually Orthodox manuals only, and I'll show you why that's the case. So another member in the Discord who is very helpful and pretty much knows everything about the game helped me out when I started to ask questions about this, and they basically explained to me that there's a single source of AddV, addition to artifact power bonus, that a player can come across, which is Unorthodox Esoterica. So when you learn an Unorthodox manual, there's actually a flag that's set, and then it changes the value from AddP to AddV. So when you are learning Unorthodox manuals, you don't get AddP, but you get AddV. And when you learn the Orthodox manuals, that's when you would get the AddP, which is what we need to subspirit. So in conclusion, this disciple absolutely cannot get any more AddP because I've already learned all of the Orthodox artifact power manuals. So I'll show you guys what that looks like in game, just to add some more clarity. So if we look at our 7 Slaughtering Sword Tiger right here, and I pull up mod, then you can actually use this to look at different modifiers for different disciples, just to like check things out. I don't really use this mod to cheat, however I do use this mod for things like this, and like to basically investigate the properties of my disciples. So if I click over here and then I scroll down to property 191, which is the property that I'm trying to add to my subspirit gear, and I know that because I just did research, you can see that my 191 property on my SSS Tiger is 0, and then I have mod configured to have it set as type 1. So if we just refresh this just so that we can see for sure, so you change this to type 1, you'll see that 191 for type 1, which is AddV, which is type V, is 0, and that's because this 7 Slaughtering Sword Tiger does not have any unorthodox extra artifact power. So I didn't learn artifact power from this guy from Unorthodox manuals, and I know that because now I can obviously see that property 191, which is the artifact power bonus, is 0 for AddV. Now if we switch over to type 2, then we'll be able to change and see how much AddP I have for this guy. So as you can see right here, I have 157.75 AddP on this guy, so that's 157 I think that's 157,000% if I'm thinking about it correctly, because you would just, or 15,000% additional bonus. Yeah, probably not 150,000%, but probably 15,000% bonus. But my point is that this guy has AddP, but they do not have AddV, and that's because this is related to Unorthodox manuals. So now if I go into this disciple and then I actually learn an Unorthodox artifact power bonus manual, then that value will increase. So Unorthodox manuals are just all of the manuals that you would transcribe, and they are randomly generated, and they are not the supreme laws. And you can tell if they're unorthodox because the game will just tell you they're unorthodox. So like right here, you can just tell by these long names. So this says Unorthodox manual in green. So I'm just going to learn this small Unorthodox manual just because this disciple doesn't have that much artifact power, and this is going to add 50% artifact power. However, because it's unorthodox, it's going to add it to the AddV and not the AddP. So I believe that this disciple just learned it, and this takes a little bit of a while to refresh, so I'm still trying to figure out how to go about doing that on mod, but just bear with me on this. And let me also make sure that they also went to the main pavilion, which they didn't even do yet. So now if I open up mod again and then I check this out, I want to see their AddV value, and as you can see, their AddP value is still 157.7, and then if I go to their AddV value, it's now 0.546. So that's that 54.6% artifact power that was added to the Unorthodox manual. So as you can see, when you're adding artifact power through Unorthodox manuals, you're not really helping out in terms of being able to add more subspirits. So I can just reinforce this concept by going forward and learning an Orthodox manual. So if we go here, and if you want to find an Orthodox manual, you just want to limit yourself to the supreme laws only. So I'm just going to go to supreme law and then artifact mastery, and these are all the laws that just come with the game, so they aren't randomly generated, so you can always count on those. So if I just add this abyssal swell right here, which is a 200% bonus, but this reduces artifact chi recovery. So let's see if there's anything that I can add that adds power but doesn't really reduce any stats. Otherwise I'll probably need to Savescum, which isn't the end of the world, but it's worth it for the demonstration. Okay, so I'll just learn this right here, and that's going to add 200% artifact power. However, it's going to go into the other section, which is the AddP section. So if I just go back to NPC manager, and I already have my 7 Slaughtering Sword Tiger selected, and you can find your disciples by just going down here and just going to men. Anyways, if I go here, now it's at 159.75, and I just added 200, and before it was at 157.75. So that's pretty much why this guy is unable to add any more artifact power to the manual. And then if I go into this guy, I believe that I already added all of the Orthodox manuals for artifact power, so I'm kind of just lost on that, on this disciple specifically. So this right here would actually reduce their artifact power, so that definitely won't help. And again, it's only the Orthodox manuals. So then the next thing that I need to do pretty much is, even though that this guy has ran out of AddP or sources that they can use AddP, the subspirit set that, or all of the subspirit sets that this guy has created are based on the NPC. And when I say the NPC, I mean like literally the body. So it's like just has to be based on Generation Turtle 2 body. So what I can do is actually go into my subspirit turtle 1, which is my first generation turtle, and have this one take over this one's body. And then once this one takes over generation turtle 2, all of the cultivation experience will transfer over, except for like medicine resistances, and then so will the subspirits. So I will have the new cultivation stats, which will then give Generation 2's quote-unquote body some more AddP. So then I'll be able to add in those manuals. So sadly, I will be getting rid of Generation Turtle 2 because I'll need to remove all of their cultivation in order to have this one take over their body and be able to continue to finish out creating subspirits for these Shendao artifacts. And luckily I don't need to farm any more subspirits because Subspirit Turtle has already 6 subspirits available to attach, and I just have 3 more artifacts that I need to make. So even with medium quality, I'll be able to get that out. And one thing that you want to think about is that when you do a possession on a disciple, you actually lose your golden core score, so you would lose all of these chi, all of this max chi bonuses. So if you don't have enough subspirits to like do exactly what you need to do, you might want to first accumulate subspirits and then possess the next cultivator. And then one other thing to note out is that I'm doing level 6 subspirit, so all of the subspirit stats from Subspirit Turtle 2 will transfer over and be into Generation Turtle 2's body. So, or Subspirit Turtle 1 will go into Generation 2's body, but that won't be an issue because Subspirit Turtle 1 is already at a level 6 subspirit level. So I have everything in place. Long story short, I'm going to use possession on Generation Turtle 2 in order to get that new refreshed AddP value, because this body will become possessed by a completely different cultivator, and I'll still be able to meet the activation requirements for the subspirit sect. And honestly, I'm really nearing the end of my gameplay for this gameplay, so I don't really feel too bad about losing Generation Turtle 2, even though I do recognize that this is a really good disciple, and I was like still earlier on in the gameplay and I'm not near the end, then I would definitely keep this disciple and then just make a separate subspirit set with the first subspirit guy without using possession. But I just decided that I just want to save time and energy, so I'm just going to do the possession method. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this explanation made sense, and I hope it cleared up a lot of the confusion that came with me, going through all that work to gather up all of those unorthodox manuals to increase my artifact power, which is a waste of time actually. And I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoy watching this video, even if you didn't. And I'll see you in the next video, and I'll begin to work on that so that we can finally get to the final conclusion of the best set of artifacts for my Shendao disciple. Later.